fixed income after you retire. We've done a lot of analysis of this literature. The least amount of research or information or advice available is what happens post-retirement. How much to withdraw, at what rate, where to invest your money, because the reason for such low amount of research and information available is that because the time period is very little, number one, and number two, nobody can make an assessment how long you need the money. Because of these two major uncertainties, there is very little research available. People don't want to stick their neck out and suggest something which will probably go right in one case and may go wrong for another case. We think that a step towards that is to create a two-part portfolio. So the fixed income part, which is about 60%, will give you a steady income. Where you would invest, I'll go down. I have, as I said, a slide right in the end, within fixed income where to invest. But if you have 60% of your portfolio at retirement, you're going to likely to get a regular income. It could be from bank FD, it could be from tax-free bond, could be from annuity, and so on. And the rest 40% should be in a growth portfolio, which would be useful for you to beat inflation. Remember, this is already grown if you have invested prudently from your mid-30s onwards, or even in your mid-40s onwards. It already would have grown significantly, and this is the money that you can use to beat inflation. If at all there is an emergency, withdraw the principal from the fixed part, but not from the growth part. Time your withdrawal from the growth part. There are ways of timing. There are various people who explain how to time your equity withdrawal. We ourselves have done seminars on how to time your equity withdrawal in your post-retirement period. What should you be expecting from a good equity mutual fund? About 10 to 12% tax free. I've already mentioned this. From FD, 8.5% taxed. But usually at that stage you may not have an income that is taxable, and therefore you're getting a good enough 8.5% post-tax as well. What should you be expecting from a good quality corporate FD? Around 10%. As I said, anything more than 11%, red flag. The company has no other means to borrow, it's borrowing from you. You shouldn't be giving them your money. Corporate bonds, they are going to get more and more popular. They already are very good quality corporate bonds. For instance, there's a bond of Tisco or Tata Power. Both of them have perpetual bonds. The coupon is about 10.5, 11%, which is a fabulous rate of return. These are perpetual bonds, which means they're like equity. They're never going to be extinguished, but they don't grow like equity. You get a fixed income. If you want to sell, the way you buy, the same way you can sell, which is through a stockbroker. Now, I also mentioned, I've mentioned at various times earlier that how to allocate within the fixed income portfolio. I have repeatedly said guarantee of principal is very, very paramount. Nothing should jeopardize your guarantee of principal in search for a higher yield. So bank FDs must get 70% of your money. Corporate FDs 15% if they are good quality corporate FDs. Corporate bonds another 15%. This is not for trading, only for bonds that you hold till maturity, or you're comfortable able to sell at a par value when you need the money. Liquid funds can form a part of your portfolio. They're slightly better than savings account. You're likely to get about 7% tax free from a good quality liquid fund, as opposed to 4% taxable from a bank savings account. Over the course of last 1 year, 1.5 years, earlier there was infrastructure bonds, and now we have tax-free bonds from various government companies. NHP, NHAI, IRFC, all of them are coming out with tax-free bonds. Raj is he's done a cover stories on this. He's an expert on that. He's going to explain in detail. But if you are in a taxable bracket, this is an absolute must. Opportunity was not there earlier. You were likely to get 8.6, 8.7% tax-free. Large part of your money has to be on this. In fact, I would say now that we have tax-free bonds, if you are in tax bracket, you should have 70% in FD and 30% in tax-free bond. Don't even bother about corporate bonds and corporate FDs, because they are both taxed. If you're not in a tax bracket, or if you're up to 10% a taxpayer, then of course you don't need this. You're quite fine with corporate FDs and corporate bonds.